Still should cut on the lady. Nobody reach yet. Hold on. I go my down and my girls and then the 7 is called. I know sad news. Ugh.
Look, I got the whole airport behind them shit. Mother said.
Yeah,
Whole
that's right.
airport. All right, ladies and gents, boys and girls, children of all ages, we back for another episode. Another short, quick pod preview NFL Sunday. This is the Experts, brought to you by the Solid Broadcast Networks, All Right Reserve. It's your boy Sanzo Matic. I'm here with my co-host CJ the X Factor. What's good, bro? You ready for this NFL Sunday?
Yeah, man. I'm ready for every Sunday. Ready to get this another dub this week. You know, everybody I know fighting in fantasy this week trying to close out their season on a good note. So we can see how best we could assist with our picks and X factors of the day.
Yeah, man. It's week 14, so you know we getting ready for that stretch run. Playoffs right around the corner. Season starting to formulate a little bit, but the conference is still tight, specifically the AFC. So
I mean, if you want to call it that. But okay. Uh,
yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into it.
yeah, let's
Uh,
start out of the blocks. Let's go heavy with our first game. We getting Cowboys Washington. We ain't even slapping up this time. We getting big
all
game.
right, Cowboys Washington. How you feel about that one? To me, that's a
Uh,
that's an important game, very important game for the Cowboys. They didn't know they was going to be in this position. I can tell you, Cowboys fans, pretty sure they was going to run away with that division. But Washington now, when there's a what, four straight, they're right on the heels. So a win here for Washington, and things could get really, really, really tight. So,
and to
what's,
be honest, that's how I want it. Like the Cowboys, them and everybody thought the Cowboys had a cakewalk this year, with Washington not having a stable QB, with I guess the Giants being the Giants, and who the next team is, the Eagles not being what they supposed to be. Actually, I thought this would be the Eagles who would be more closer, but Washington holding firm even after their starting QB gone now. Um, I want to say Washington, but I can't see Dallas allowing this to happen because they know, hey, you don't want to get into them December games. This is Dallas time to fail. December is usually notorious between Dallas and the Dolphins. They're notorious for losing the most games in December. So if they want to turn it around and make it really give their fans hope to say that this is a new Dallas era, uh, I can go with Dallas, even though they in Washington, and also Pollard is not playing. So Zeke will carry the load today. We know how that go when he ready. Um, I just don't see Washington having enough offensive firepower. I see it being a very close defensive game, but I don't see Washington having enough offensively to pull it out. Now they could come out and run some trick plays and really blow them out the water, but I guarantee Dallas because offensively I just feel Dallas better, and defensively they pretty much even or close to each other.
I agree with the upset. I agree with Washington on this one. I think Dallas, like we already mentioned, in order to take control of this division, they got to win this game. If they win this game, they basically good for the rest of the year. But I think Washington been playing so well. Heineken been playing at a really high level the last 4 games or so. So I got Washington in an upset to make this division uh, race a little bit more messier. So I go Washington. All right, what we got
All
next?
right, good. Panthers. Evenly matched teams, evenly trash. Um, the Falcons 5-7, Carolina 5-7. Offenses are second, like second. I can't even say second tier. Offense are bottom tier. Defenses on one side is lopsided, but who knows? But to be honest, I was kind of disappointed Cam didn't win his home opener in Carolina when he first came back. This is another game in Carolina against a very easy, a very winnable opponent. So with that being said, surprisingly, I didn't pick this trash team much all year, but I gained with the Carolina Panthers only because Cam Newton is there, who's an expatriate on the offense, and Stephen Gilmore is there, who's an expatriate on the defense.
Wow. Uh, I gotta pick Carolina. Unless they're playing a top team, then I probably would have went the other way. But again, this is a game we keep on saying they have to win. They lost a very winnable game, in my opinion, against Washington, who's playing better as of late, and they lost to the Dolphins in a complete blow. So I don't know what more you can make of that. They had a bye week. Maybe they sorted out some of their offensive issues. Maybe Cam comes a little bit better. So a game like this against the Falcons, you got to win this game. Got to win this game, especially if Cam is looking to continue to be a starting quarterback in this league. He has to take advantage of these baby games on the schedule. So I'm going with Carolina.
All right, cool. Another 1 o'clock game. I wouldn't say lopsided because not anymore, but we got the Jacksonville Jaguars who have surprisingly beaten some good teams this year, and the Tennessee Titans. Now, obviously, we know Tennessee is without Derrick Henry, but they get a surprise back today. They activated Julio Jones off of the IR list. He should be back today, healthy. Um, Again, obviously, with Tennessee, they have the better offense, even without Derrick Henry, and the better defense. Even though, like I say, I wouldn't be surprised if Jacksonville makes it competitive, but I need Julio Jones to go off today, just to prove that he is still Julio Jones. And plus, I pick him up in fantasy, so I need at least 2 touchdowns. But yeah, I don't see Jacksonville. It's a winnable game, but I don't see them winning it. Like they just haven't shown me nothing. Like they almost last in the league in every single category. So they playing in Tennessee. I expect the defense to come out, put some clamps down on their QB, and then I expect the offense to come out and give Julio some shots. I feel Julio need some shots today. A lot of these guys have contract incentives. These guys got to get a certain amount of yards, certain amount of touchdowns. So if I was Julio, I saying, listen, big brother, I need that little bonus. I need that little thing. So look at me today. This ain't no Jacksonville defense at all. This a trash defense. So let it fly.
But I mean, you're right. They trash. I think the defense is probably the best thing they have going for them, to be honest. Despite them being trash. But yeah, I gotta go with Tennessee today. Just based on the fact, like you say, it's hard for me to pick Jacksonville and favor them in any game. They ain't really uh, been a favorite in almost any of the games they've played, even the ones they've won. So I'm going with Tennessee. Yeah, they have a good enough team. They've won some impressive wins and a few bad losses in the last few weeks. But again, they've won despite Derrick Henry being out, despite Julio being out. So I got them to secure the dub today.
All right. Next, we got Raiders and Chiefs. Divisional matchup. Chiefs and Raiders separated by 2 games. If the Raiders win today,
Hmm.
they'll be 1 game behind Kansas City and 1 game behind the division lead or the division championship. So this would be a big win for the Raiders if they could win today. Um, the Chiefs starting to pick up. They on a 5 game win streak. Mahomes them starting to look Mahomey. The defense is looking much better from when they first started the season. State was hot garbage. Secondary starting to catch themselves. They're in Kansas City, so today I going with Kansas City just because they're in Kansas City. I feel like these teams are more evenly matched than the record says, and also I feel like after 5 game winning streak, sometimes you start to rest on your laurels. You start to get comfortable. You start to think, oh yeah, this is a walk in the park, and then a team comes and punch your head off. I don't think this could be the team. So I say Kansas City win their sixth straight today versus the Raiders.
Well, I'll go in the same direction you're going in, except I'll take it a step above. I think this is going to be a blowout. I think Kansas City is going to win this one in a blowout. I think these two teams, their records, like you say, aren't that far off. But when you look at their situations, they're basically in two different directions. You talk about a reeling Las Vegas team and a surging Kansas City team that's just starting to catch its footing. That has not won games with their offense. They've won games mostly with how good they've been defensively. So I'm expecting a Patrick Mahomes breakout game. Last year, he threw for at least 400 yards against them in their matchup. I expect a breakout game from Patrick Mahomes, much better offensively, and I expect them to maintain that defensive intensity. Easy win for Kansas City. So I got the Chiefs.
Well, next we got up on our 1 o'clock schedule, another division matchups. We got the Browns and the Ravens. The Ravens, I don't know, questionable coaching, questionable play calls has gotten them out of the AFC lead and now fighting just to stay on top of their division. And today is not the day to make stupid calls. The Baltimore is Ravens are 8-4, Cleveland Browns are 6-6. This is another 2 game lead in the division that if one loses, if the Baltimore Ravens loses, then they only 1 game up against Cleveland, and Cleveland would have the tiebreaker. So um, this is a day where Deshaun, I mean not Deshaun, Lamar Jackson
Mhm.
got to go off. Like this is them games where he got to put the team on his back and make plays regardless. This is not the time to look at coach calls or let's run the ball with the running backs. Like bro, you lead the team in rushing. Ain't time to be handing no ball off to no lousy running backs, and you know what you've been doing all year. You know what you do. Secondly, the defense got to show up. Cleveland doesn't have Odell no more, so you don't have, even though he wasn't performing like people think, Odell still is a threat anytime he's on the field. As we could see with the Rams, where he's catching touchdowns just about every week now. So without Odell there, you don't have a number one to really focus on. Jarvis is not the Jarvis of old, and he's been banged up. So I expect Baltimore to come out here. I expect Lamar Jackson to have a huge game today in Cleveland and get the win on the road and solidify themselves on the top of that division, knowing that the Steelers is trash now too this year. They really don't have no competition. Once they could beat Cleveland today, and they have the Bengals, if they could beat Cleveland, they could hold off for the division championship this year.
Yeah, it's a tough one for me to pick. Like you say, another tight race. The Ravens been struggling late, offensively, especially. And then you have the Browns, who just been an inconsistent team all year. If I had to pick, like I'd have to pick the Ravens because for the majority of the season they've been a really, really good team. Um, they seem to have an identity more so than Cleveland, who's still trying to figure that out this late into the season. Um, they do have a strong run game, Cleveland is, but they tend to. It's still a very inconsistent team to me, in my opinion. Um, so I'll go with the Ravens on this one. Hopefully, Lamar Jackson gets back on track, and he will have to in order to probably win this game. So
So like I say, logically I pick in the Ravens, but I actually want the Browns to win this just to make it interesting in the division. Um, the next 1 o'clock game we got Saints and Jets. To me, this is a Taylor Bowl game, to be honest. New Orleans shuffling around QBs. Tyson Hill is not a QB. I don't know why they keep forcing him to be a QB. Um, on the other side, the Jets is the Jets. We know how that is. Bottom of the league in literally almost every category. And when I say bottom, I'm talking about like 32. This, 28, 29, like 30. In about 3 or 4 categories, they last in the league in a lot of things. So they in New Jersey today, or New York, you all want to call it, but they play in New Jersey. Um, but I don't think that helps them. Kamara is back today, and I feel he's gonna go have a big game against this defense. So I gotta go with the New Orleans Saints with that good defense that they have and Kamara back on offense. Again with the Saints.
So I see and they say and Taysom Hill might be a little banged up. So if Trevor Simeon plays, then I think this probably is an easy win for New Orleans. Trevor Simeon plays. If Taysom Hill plays, I think it becomes a little bit more closer. But like you said, they got Kamara back, so that should he's immediately the best player in this matchup. However, I'm still gonna go with my New York Jets. I'm still gonna go with the Jets. Uh, I think Zach Wilson had a strong game last game, even though it came in a loss. Um, I think eventually he could get it going against this team. Both the teams are struggling right now, um, and yeah, I just go with the Jets.
Um, I predict two interceptions for Wilson. He trash. At least two interceptions. Next game, 1 o'clock.
Two
We,
interception, two DDs.
okay. Uh, Next game we got at 1 o'clock in Houston. We got the Seattle Seahawks versus the Houston Texans. Um, I don't know. Equally trash this year, but at the same time, I guess you go with the better players. Yeah, on the one side, you got Russell Wilson, you got DK Metcalf. So at the end of the day, I guarantee Seahawks, even though I don't want to. But they play in Houston, and Houston hasn't given me any inclination that I should pick them. So I going on Seattle. I going with Seattle this about.
Yeah, it's an easy pick for me. Seattle, Houston. There's no reason for me to pick Houston. They haven't won a whole lot of games in general. Talk about big games. They haven't won a whole lot of games in general. But Seattle, they're coming off a pretty good win against the 49ers, where Russell Wilson has seemed to find his groove a little bit towards the end. So hopefully he can build off that, knowing the stakes, knowing that they're still in the dogfight to get into the playoffs. I think Seattle seizes the opportunity and takes advantage of this moment. So Seattle.
All right. Well, that concludes the 1 o'clock games. Let's look at some 4 o'clock games, 4:05, 4:25, whatever time y'all want to call it. First up, we got the Giants and Chargers. Uh, I mean, obviously, Thursday night Steelers and Vikings already played, so that was the wishy-washy teams. But this is another wishy-washy team, the Chargers. They usually go on and off, but I think this week they're gonna go on. They play in a banged up New York Giants team, who even fully healthy, I don't think really that good. But obviously, Daniel Jones is out. They have Saquon, but you really think Saquon going hard, risking injury again, knowing that hey, the season is basically over. Um, they 4-8, no chance of basically coming back and winning that division, or maybe even making the playoffs. Bottom in the league and almost there. Well, not bottom because we know the Jets bottom, but this is almost bottom. Uh, and Chargers, they middle of the pack. Like they ain't good, but they ain't bad. So the Chargers also still in the playoff hunt. Chargers right now record is 7-5. So if they could win this game, they go to 8-5. They could move up that chart. They have a very good chance of making a wild card or having a chance at the division if they could win this game. So again with the Chargers, because of the motivation.
Yeah, I think, like you said, the Giants are banged up. Um, I think when fully healthy, they actually have a decent team, but it's rarely been the case at all during the season, and their record shows as a result of that. So I don't expect this to be a win for them. I expect the Chargers to build off again. Their impressive win last week, and I expect them to try to take advantage of the games that they should take advantage of. Now they've been a hot and cold team the entire season, so it's not like this is a guaranteed W, but this is a game that they should be favored in and they should win. So Chargers.
All right. Next, we got the Detroit Lions playing the Denver Broncos. Um, Even on a normal day, I would never pick the Detroit Lions. I think I picked them once this season, and that was the game they tied, which they should have won just because I picked them. But that was the game they tied. Um, and they play in Denver. Denver obviously has the better offense, the better defense, and Denver is coming off a very emotional week where they lost one of their best wide receivers they ever played in Demarius Thomas, who died suddenly this week at a young age, I think 33 or something like that.
33. Yeah, rest in
So
peace to them.
with that motivation, knowing that you got chalk to this week, this ain't the week to lose, especially to the Lions. This is the week to go and represent for your boy. Uh, Put the ball in the air, score some touchdowns, do your celebration, do your whatever you want to do in memory of him. So I expect Denver to beat up on the Detroit Lions today.
Yeah, I don't have nothing much to add to that. I expect them to roll over Detroit today. Good win last week. Impressive, you know what I mean? Happy that they didn't finish the season winless, but the Broncos still in the fight for the playoffs. So this could be I wouldn't say a wake up call for Detroit because they didn't really have nothing to play for, but yeah, just the real NFL now. So I think the Broncos could win this one.
All right. Next, we got 49ers and Bengals. Tough game. Tough
Very
game.
tough. Very tough.
To me, these teams are evenly matched when it comes to record wise, when it comes to their position um, and their rankings and stuff like that. But y'all know I ain't picking Jimmy G. I don't care what he been doing. Unless Trey Lance playing, I ain't on that run. So I gain with the Cincinnati Bengals. Also, obviously, I have Joe Mixon in fantasy too, so I need Joe Mixon to go off for like 2 touchdowns, 150 yards. That'll be pretty good. But yeah, I see the Bengals coming out in this. They're in Cincinnati. Temperature is 34 degrees. Them San Francisco boys ain't used to that. Um, so yeah, I expect Joe Mixon is playing. He's been ill all week, didn't practice, but they say he's still gonna play. I don't expect him to be 100, but I expect him to get goal line touches to put up points. So I got Cincinnati, maybe not in a blow. It might be closer than we think, but I still got Cincinnati pulling this one.
I expect this to be a very competitive game. You have two teams coming off who have been playing well recently, but came coming off horrible losses the last game. Um, Both of them know what's at stake. Both of them fighting for seeding. Um, so I expect this game to be competitive. I guess I'll have to go with the guy who I think is a better quarterback than Joe Burrow. Um, Being in Cincinnati, again, like you say, with Joe Mixon being healthy, um, I think I believe in his ability a little bit more than I do Jimmy G. So I'll go with Cincinnati in a nail biter. I think this is going to be a close one.
All right, now last 4 o'clock game before we get to the Sunday and Monday night games. We got the big game, the 7-5 Buffalo Bills coming off getting smoked from the Patriots last week, going up against one of the greatest Patriots of all time, or the greatest Patriot of all time, Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. At this point, he's probably one of the greatest Buccaneers of all time. already.
Stop
So
it. Just stop it. Just stop it.
you
Stop it.
name a couple. Anyway, I don't even care in there. We don't have enough time. You can't name five. Anyway, yeah. So um, obviously, again, Tampa Bay better offense. Um, I would, to me, I would say better defense. When it comes to quality of opponents, Buffalo might be the better defense rating, but compared to when you play in the Jets twice a year, Dolphins twice a year, um, certain other teams, yeah, that's easy to be look like a top defense on paper. But Tampa Bay had far more superior matchups this year, which they've come out victorious, or even if in losses they've been very competitive. So with that being said, I go in with Tampa Bay, and now that Russian game is starting to pick up. You got Leonard Fournette going crazy these days, and you got Ronald Jones who's coming out of the backfield. Everybody's looking healthy. Gronk is back. OJ Howard is back. Cameron Braid is back. Godwin just caught 15 passes last game. Like Mike Evans still out there. The only person missing is Antonio Brown. And I think they made him to save him till the playoffs because that could be another sneaky piece to fit in there. And their secondary is now getting healthy. Richard Sherman now is practicing to be a safety because they have good cornerbacks who's coming back healthy. And putting Richard Sherman at a safety is even more dangerous than him being at corner. So, like I say, I got Tampa Bay in the 425 matchup in Tampa Bay against the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I don't want. I really don't want Big Tampa Bay, but I don't trust Buffalo. They've been an up and down team, and for their schedule, they really underachieved the season, in my opinion. For their schedule, um, I feel as if they should have a much better record. Um, However, like you say, they do have a top ranked defense. Um, I don't expect the game to be a blowout. I expect it to be close. But I do think when it comes to winning time, I think the Buccaneers will make enough of those winning plays. Um, I expect Gronk to have a few TDs today, um, and I expect Buccaneers to pull this one off. So I got time for it.
All right. We got the Sunday night game. Usually, even I guess this game has been very lopsided over the recent years, but we still look at it as a big game because they still compete very hard against each other. We got Bears and Packers, not a division rival division game. We got Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, who has been playing good of late. They won the last game. Their record is 9-3. They
Good.
gearing up for the playoffs. Yeah, they ain't really impressive, but they playing good.
Wow.
Aaron Jones really is holding this team together. If that running back go down, they in a tight. The defense is okay. Their linebackers are average at best, but their secondary is pretty good, and their defensive line is okay when healthy. But their health on defense has been concerning. But obviously, against this Chicago team, I don't expect that to be a problem. Uh, so yeah, I gotta go Green Bay as much as I don't want to. They also playing in Green Bay Monday night on a 30-degree night, 38-degree night at Lambeau Field. Probably snow. Wind is like 15 miles per hour, so it's like, come on, man, this that type of weather. I mean, Chicago plays some crappy weather too, but they have crappy players. But yeah, I game with the Green Bay Packers. Uh, I don't think it'll be a blowout. I actually think it'll be a much more competitive game than people think. But I think Green Bay have enough to hold on.
Uh, Green Bay. I'm going with Green Bay, obviously. They've been, in my opinion, um, top two team in the NFL this year. Um, I don't expect them to lose, although I do expect the Bears to be a little, maybe play a little with a little bit of anger, a little bit of emotion after Aaron Rodgers went on that little "I own you" uh, rant when they first beat them. So I expect them to come up with a little bit of fire There's been intensity, but and then not only can get you so far if you're just not the talented team. And the Green Bay Packers have a lot more talent than the Chicago Bears. So I'll go with Green Bay.
All right. And then we got the Monday night game. To me, this is a big, this is one of the biggest game of the season, bro. This in not just NFL wise, but fantasy wise. This game has so much implications on real life and fantasy sports because I know people all around everywhere has multiple players such as Matt Stafford, Odell Beckham, Cooper Cup, the Rams defense in fantasy. Then on the other side, you got Kyler Murray, you got DeAndre Hopkins, you got Arizona's defense. Um, Trust me, James Conner. It's a lot of things going on with this game that is what it is. It makes this game a big game. The Rams are 8-4, coming off a win. Arizona is now 10-2, with Kyler Murray coming back, Hopkins coming back. Hopkins will be matchup hopefully most of the night against Jalen Ramsey. Um, that pass rush is going to be coming for Kyler Murray. Trust me, Aaron Donald and those guys coming.
That's a fact.
So Kyler Murray will be running for his life. To be honest with you, I surprisingly the Rams have pissed me off a lot this year, losing against teams that they shouldn't have lost to. But when it comes to big games, I think they beat the Buccaneers, they beat the
Mhm.
Seahawks, they beat like big teams. But they have already lost to the Cardinals. The Cardinals beat them back in week 4, 37-20. Um, and I think that this is going to be a matchup to really be tiebreaker because if the Rams win, they'll be 9-4, and Arizona will be 10-3, coming down to the last weeks to be the number one seed. I don't know. It's a tough pick. These teams are really, really evenly matched offensively and defensively. Um, I want to pick the Rams so bad. But like I told you and Graylin in the preseason, Arizona was my sleeper team all year. From they pick up JJ Watt even though he's injured now, and certain pieces they added to that defense and offense, such as AJ Green and stuff, James Conner. Uh, Damn, both of these teams are teams that I pick at the beginning of the season to be on top of the NFC, even though they are. Sheesh, I don't know. Mm, I get in Rams.
You
It
going
is what it
Rams?
is. I get in Rams just because,
You
like I say, the Arizona is only as good as the offensive line. And if you can't keep Kyler Murray protected and you got him running all over the place with obviously Aaron Donald, with obviously your boy who came over from Denver, some of the best pass rushers in the league, and you can't even throw the ball quick to your number one because you got Jalen Ramsey chasing him all down the field. Uh, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be pretty, but I think I gotta go with the Rams, especially wide receiver now. They got Odell there. I think that takes a lot of attention off of Cooper Cup that they didn't have the first matchup. So I gotta go Rams. I feel like this is a must win for them if they wanna be the top seed in the NFC. So yeah,
I do think this is gonna be. It's not much weeks I'll pick against a 10-2 team, but I think if it's any match to do that, it'd probably be this one. I do think this game is going to be a playoff type of intensity, and I do think the Rams um, play with that intensity when it comes to big games. And they got a lot of big game players. You talked about guys like Aaron Donald. You talk about Jalen Ramsey. You talk about Vaughn Miller coming over from Denver, right? integrating Odell into the situation, although he hasn't really played in as much big games as those guys I mentioned. Um, this game to me will have a playoff type of feel, um, and I expect a team that sort of has a little bit more experience in that regard to sort of squeak out this W. It's not going to be easy. Again, the Cardinals are a great, phenomenal team, the best team in the NFL record wise. Um, Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins, when they're on the field, they're virtually unbeatable. But this would be a test for both teams. And I think it'll especially be a test for the Cardinals because I don't think they've faced a pass rush that would be as aggressive as this Rams one coming up. So uh, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be exciting, entertaining. I'm going to go with the Rams. Speaking of this one, and I'd love to see these teams meet the playoffs. So I'll go with the Rams.
All right, I think that concludes our lineup for the day. The 1 o'clock games are on the way. Um, we got Jesus Lord. We got Tennessee already scoring in the first quarter against Jacksonville. My Lord, man.
No surprise there.
Why ain't you throw the Julio? Though? Anyway, whatever. Give Julio the ball. But Tennessee up 7-0, well 6-0 until the field goal. 7-0 basically on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like I say, I think that's gonna be a super blow. But
The
yeah,
Texans can jump out to a 7-0 lead in less than a minute against the Seahawks.
like that boy must be
Uh,
run that back off the thing on me. He
that's
must be run
crazy.
that back off the kick, boy.
The Chiefs probably running back off the kick too because they up 7-0 too. 11:56 left in the first.
Hey, this look like blowout Sunday today. Tell us he ain't come out to
Uh,
play it, nobody.
what up?
I like it
Yeah,
though.
so
Like I say,
yeah,
offensive Sunday means fantasy points are here for everyone. And this is a week where this is the last week of some people's regular seasons. So a lot of teams tied in their division. A lot of guys need wins. A lot of guys need certain things to secure their playoff spot or to upset some of the top seeds. So yeah, I wish you all the best and enjoy your Sunday football.
until next time, experts out.
Damn, you can- I don't know, I'm just saying.
Shit, man, shit.